Hi, everybody. Good morning. Well, I guess it's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday. Coming to you, Ruiz, Michael Fairman, What's Up Wrestling, our 14th episode, which is hard to believe. I remember when we did the first one, we've done 14.
I think we've gotten a little better.
I think we've gotten better, but I think that's true with a lot of these podcasty
Yeah,
talk shows. They
just keep
start
adapting.
right. I think you have to adapt, and I also think you kind of find a rhythm in it, and I think
Yeah,
that's really tough. You know how they do those like um host chemistry test, like they'll do
yeah,
that. Like look at all the people that Kelly Ripa went through before choosing her own
yeah,
husband. So there was a lot that happened, Luis,
yeah.
this wrestling, but I think we have to start with. I really want to get your opinion on this. So WWE or TKO Group announces a new rights deal for SmackDown and with NBCUniversal. What is your feeling on the fact that SmackDown is now going to move to the USA Network starting in 2024 in October? Do you think it's a big loss for Fox? How do you think it's going to fare on USA?
I mean, I think I'm very surprised that a company like Fox, you would think like that. Everyone treats SmackDown as a flagship show. People think it's the best show more than even though Raw's been around, forever. But I think if you're USA, I mean, you kind of had. I know it probably. I don't know within the organization they're like, oh hey, like you had Raw this whole time. Now you're buying SmackDown for all this money, and now you just throwing Raw away? But I guess if you're them, I mean, if like we've seen, you have Roman Reigns on SmackDown specifically for the past 2 or 3 years. They like to stack those shows. I mean, if you're them, it's the smartest decision. I just am more curious to see if they're going to keep Raw and NXT or if they're going to let that go and let someone else get it.
Right. So it was a $1.4 billion deal. Do you understand? Like that kind of money is,
And then
when anybody
yeah,
says though, pro wrestling isn't like whatever, how can it
yeah,
be the hottest thing
yeah,
when you pay
yeah.
$1.4 billion
They
for
just they just they just made a sale for all that money with Endeavor, and now they just sold. Now they just bought SmackDown for $1.4 billion. It's crazy.
now there'll
It's
be
insane.
4 primetime specials on NBC and I remember back in the day, I think they had Saturday night fights or something. I mean, they had it on NBC back in the day when Hulk Hogan was the champ and everything. But people are saying it's the first time. If you were to use those 4 primetime specials per year, what would you do on them? What do you think? Do you think
So
they'll be building up? Do you think they'll be more personality driven, or do you think they'll have matches and like build to like a prime time event, almost like
I
a
think that's what I was gonna say. I think they have a chance to do something pretty cool when it comes to like their partnership with the UFC. So like I think what they've said, I think they're gonna have their regular PLEs on Peacock and all that stuff. But then I think they can do some. You know how they have like I don't know if you know they have like UFC fight nights, but for like free,
right?
basically on cable. They could do stuff like that where it's like big matches, but you don't have to pay for it. Basically, you can still watch it on cable TV, which I think would be pretty cool. And they
Yeah.
can maybe they can line it up where it's 8 to 10, and then at 10 p.m. there's a UFC right after, so you don't really have to change. You could just watch that right after. You know what I mean? They could combine it together, like what they've been saying.
Where do you think the perfect home? We've talked about this. And I'm very frustrated with USA Network on the West Coast or with DirecTV that I have. Now, I don't know about the other cable outlets, but I have to watch the East Coast feed to catch USA Network. That is
Yeah,
not easy to do for people who work or
yeah,
doing, it's on at 5 to 8, and you're like, I've just missed the whole thing.
yeah.
Um, and so if Raw and NXT were to move, you had mentioned to me that you thought ABC or an ESPN deal would be a great move. Why do you feel ESPN?
I just feel like ESPN when it comes to the types of platforms they have and the different types of ways you can watch, like ESPN Plus, they have the YouTube, they have everything. If they really are trying to get more viewers, like they said they are, and they want to make other fans WWE fans. If you have, I'm telling you right now, if you have just Raw on ESPN, and it's people leave ESPN on just because ESPN. So that already gives you like, all right, let's just throw this on because it's on
Like
ESPN.
college football into wrestling.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like, for example, that's why that the UFC, Dana White's slap fight. Have you seen that? I used to just see it because it used to show up right after Dynamite. It used to
After
be the first.
Dynamite.
So and I used to be like, "What the hell am I watching?" And then I'd be like, "All right, I'm leaving this on because it's hilarious." So something like that where you have sports all day and then it's Raw. It's just I don't know if ESPN will be able to do it based on their Monday Night Football schedule when they have twice a year on. Half the year. So I if it's not ESPN, I would see more of like maybe an ABC or I just can't see them because they're so popular right now. They're not going to go to like these other TV networks.
Sci-fi network.
Yeah, they used to be on
Sci-fi.
Sci-Fi. They used to be on Spike.
When isn't NXT on Sci-Fi? Wait,
Yeah,
right?
and then
Yeah.
Raw was on Spike for like
On Spike,
6 months.
it was like tanking. Now the other part of this, and then we'll move on, is getting rid of Vince McMahon out of this. So I'm reading they want him out completely, but he wanted to do this whole merger for control of it. So is Vince about to be like out?
Yeah, I want to get the
quote?
the quote because I was very surprised because I like you said, Vince is
He returned to the company in January 2023 as executive chairman to head up the efforts to sell WWE. He said that he came back and it was time it had to evolve. So he's saying this had to evolve. So the group gets sold, it merges with Endeavor UFC, their TKO Group. But where does he go now?
Like, do you think he had any interest? Like, you had any inkling that they were going to do that, or you think it was very like out of nowhere?
The actual deal?
No, like that they were going to want Vince gone after this.
Yeah,
or they just kept it under wraps.
Probably. Doesn't he want to be involved?
I think he does. Yeah,
I have a hard time believing.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon would just sit on like if he's at all able to do it, would he not be putting in his 2 cents?
So
but he
do you think, because I'm sure you saw the quote about how he said that WWE had plateaued and that they had to.
Yes.
That supposedly went over terribly and everyone was like pissed because I don't know how it's possible. I don't think it did. Like I don't think that's really true. Like you only say, I think he's just saying it plateaued because he wasn't involved anymore. So he wanted to.
I was thinking maybe he's trying to say it plateaued in terms of the deal that they could get independently as themselves without merging, without this next step. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he's really out because you just keep reading all these reports online about Vince was not involved. Vince was involved. Vince changed the story. Vince didn't change the story. Like you get a lot of that.
It says, this one says at the all employees meeting in that they had with everybody there, it says that he was playing up to the employees that, in quotes, "I'm Vince McMahon, damn it," when he didn't get a big round of applause, and then remarked to them, "This is when you're supposed to clap," motioning for a response, and later they did clap. He joked, "Oh, now you guys are learning."
Which sounds exactly like I would expect.
Like I'm not even like shocked. I'm not surprised.
I mean, can Vince literally sit back and not put his footprint on it? Can he let everybody else? I don't know.
But I don't think they do have the majority to vote him out. So that's, if they really want to, they can. So we'll see, because they have the majority vote.
Well, the other thing that's happening that I think is part of this is the sexual misconduct things are coming back around again. So I think it's like, that's a good way for them to be like, you know what? It might be a tactic to move it out.
Yeah, and the more they do these investigations, they have more reason to even do that. So that's why I'm sure they were like, yeah, like let's just do the deal, and then
we'll clap for you now, and you can leave.
Yeah. Here, we'll clap.
All right. Well, we've got to talk about the injury report this week. This has been absolutely stunning. So AEW Grand Slam, which, to your point, that's one of their signature events on prime time for them. It's a big show, and apparently, if you're in AEW, you mostly get injured because everyone's injured at AEW. So I don't know if we need training classes or or what's going on there, but Jon Moxley gets pile driven into the mat.
It was one of the craziest things.
By
I was
Rafe.
watching it live, and I was like, I was so uncomfortable because I was like, how are you gonna do it again?
Can somebody explain to me why they did it again? See, I get the audible. I get him being down on the ground. I get the referee going like this under the shoulder, like
Yeah,
whatever.
I was just reading about it to see if they had an update. It says, it just said confirmed by Brian Alvarez. Jon Moxley was supposed to win the match on Wednesday, but called the audible to put Phoenix over once he got dumped on his head.
So wait a minute. I'm laying down and I'm Jon Moxley going, call an audible. Pin me. I'm going to lose my title.
Yeah, but if the thing is that if he knew he couldn't kick out there or something,
why did they pile drive again?
Yeah, just roll him up or something. I don't know.
So I'm trying to understand. I'm Jon Moxley. I can't move my legs. I'm obviously something's wrong, and I'm like, throw the match. I'm out. Pile drive me. So,
yeah,
like that's
only he would be like, yeah, do it again, unless the guy just did it anyway.
It was really well. It was really bizarre. But here's the joke. The one that's in worse shape is Adam Cole.
Yeah,
Adam Cole is part of this MGA Samoa Joe match, which I really did not like. People, I'm sorry,
I wasn't a fan either.
I didn't like Samoa Joe. I couldn't figure out, am I supposed to root for MGF? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? He's choking people. Like, I didn't get that. And then Adam Cole runs out and does nothing to do with the actual.
He was just cheering for him.
He's just running down the ramp and jumps. And to me, are we talking here? I don't know. This is an Aaron Rodgers. I popped my calf and my Achilles is torn. Yeah. Or what? But he was clearly limping, and then they went to the hospital, and I'm hearing he's worse off than Moxley.
Yeah. They haven't officially said what it is yet, but they said it doesn't look good. So now they have to play off that to see what they're going to do with that storyline.
I feel so bad for him after what he went through. He's always hurt.
He's hurt all the time, Cole. It's like terrible.
But the brain injury. Was horrible. That was one.
And it just adds on top of it because he's always hurt. Everything else is always hurt.
So that was like when Punk, I told you, in LA, just literally and he drops off the top.
Yeah, everyone kept saying that. That's what it reminded me of when he just jumped off.
It looked exactly like it, only from a different.
They said that, but that's not the first time that someone's gotten injured using that elevated ramp. Because remember, someone got stuck in between the thing. I think it was Danielson.
Yeah, that's right.
Danielson's
leg. Danielson's leg got caught.
The elevated ramp is not good.
Do they have I just remember back in the day there wasn't. I wonder what AEW's contract is like for getting injured or health insurance. Because there was never any originally in WWE.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah.
I just wonder if, with all their money, if they take care of people.
I know that's one thing WWE probably is good with now. That's like when you ask guys about it, and they say that they talk about the pay. They're like, not even if you're not getting paid that much money, you have all types of insurance now. So it's like it's all incorporated to your contract. He's like, back then,
so different. I remember nobody had health insurance. There was a big thing because everybody was an independent contractor. Everybody's an independent contractor. And you'd literally, I remember going and again, being thrown into this world, I remember going, that's weird. Why are the wrestlers taking their suitcases from place to place and getting in cars together and driving? I thought, oh, well, you book a flight and you get, they were carrying their little suitcases. And I was like, how can this be, and that's when you would see, and also they weren't being taken care of because of you could see what they were dealing with pain-wise on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Which I think they all are. Yeah, so I was really disappointed in the MJF match. The only interesting development on Grand Slam was Don Callis and Sammy Guevara now together. What do you think? Do you care?
I think it's cool. I like that the turn was the same turn as Chris Jericho to Shawn Michaels.
It was the exact same thing. They did the side by side.
Even wearing the same. Guevara's wearing the same colors too, and I think it's cool. I think it's good for him to finally maybe get a new start. Like I like him; he's a good wrestler, so I'm glad to see him. And you're putting him with Callis, so it's like you're gonna get some good like piecework. But do you think that means that they're like is Jericho gonna go full like face again? Is he gonna be like a full face? I guess, and Guevara's the heel. Is that what they're teasing? Because then
and I'm the one person I truly believe I like Sammy Guevara as a face when he had the title.
So do I.
Everybody else likes him as a heel. I don't get it. I don't even understand why he's booed anyways. I don't know what he's done. He walks out and he's booed.
He's just booed because of his wife. They don't like his wife at all.
Oh,
people hate his wife.
Okay, she's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't like, but when he was the title holder, I was all in on him. I was like, he's really great. I like him as a heel. He's been booed ever since they took the titles off of him. And he doesn't even do anything that bad.
He's a really good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler.
He's a great wrestler. Yeah. And Jericho brought him in. So maybe I think Jericho has a hand in some of these stories. Since I think that these people all write themselves their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm surprised. I did think they were going to do a full face turn with him and be like a full baby face, but I guess they went the opposite way, which is fine. But I would have rather been the other way around.
I did too. All right, so there were a lot of WWE releases announced. The one thing I want to read is the Matt Riddle one. So Matt Riddle went on yesterday onto social media and said, just wanted to inform everyone that I'm no longer with WWE. Thank you for the memories and opportunities. Also, thank you to all the fans for the support and love you give me every time I go out in the ring. See you all soon. So this started me on a deep dive onto YouTube, and I fell upon some clips of his that I'd never seen. There's a clip where he trashes Goldberg. There's another one where I literally couldn't believe it. He's sitting there and he literally tore down Chris Jericho, Lance Storm, Bill Goldberg. He was basically saying how these guys were like attacking him on social media. And then he went on this rant. I cannot say whether he was not under any influence at the time because it's a little weird how he presented himself.
I personally love Matt Riddle. Like when it comes to wrestling, I think he was really good. Obviously, he started at NXT and he was really good. He's like a natural. I liked his style. I liked his gimmick was cool. It was funny. Obviously, the stuff he did with Randy Orton was the best, and we never know what would have happened if Orton didn't get hurt. Because we don't know how long that storyline would have went. I'm sure they would have fought each other eventually, which would have been a great match. But that tag team was awesome, and it really did like rejuvenate Orton's career because he was like he was really enjoying it. But he's one of those guys that he just kind of like pushed his luck a lot, and I feel like WWE gave him a lot of chances, like a lot. And
I just want to interrupt you on the chances. So I got the outside of the ring backstage instance with Goldberg, August 2019. Candy Cartwright's filed sexual assault lawsuit in June 2021. Attended rehab after multiple wellness violations, December 22. And then I think the kicker was September of this year, reportedly intoxicated JFK during an altercation with police officer. I mean, this is why he's gone, because I have to tell you, when I saw Riddle first come to the show, to WWE, I thought he is an amazing wrestler.
Yeah,
I thought he was amazing. I didn't really love the bro thing, like the gimmick, but him as a wrestler, was one of the best I've seen.
Yeah, he's
and to
really
see
good.
how it's kind of like it's kind of fallen from grace so bad that now he's like.
He even had like not stuff that's really his fault, but he was always in the media. Even when it came to like his relationship, his wife, he had stuff with her and the kids.
Was that a domestic abuse thing?
A domestic thing. Supposedly she was hitting him, he was hitting her. It's like it was like both ways. It was always something. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that they're under new, but I'm sure when this came out, their Endeavor was like, you got to get him out of here. Like that's his last straw.
Yeah, and also I think he became pretty irrelevant. I mean, he was.
Then they didn't know what to do with him. Yeah, and it does suck because I'm sure we've all seen Randy Orton is nearing his return very very soon. He's been at the Performance Center training, and people saw him. So I'm sure that he was gonna come back soon. I would have liked to see that again, maybe something, even a match or something. But I guess that's never gonna happen. And honestly, out of all the releases, I think Riddle's the only one that AEW might give a shot because he's that good. But we'll see.
Okay, I'm so afraid of this. I knew you were going to say if he goes, can AEW have another person with this rap
Yeah,
sheet? I mean, can they? I mean,
I think so. I don't think they care.
it's like Rap Sheet City. You go to
Yeah, I don't think they care.
AEW. I mean, and doesn't Moxley have problems too?
He's had his fair share.
But not
So
like
I mean,
but not like Riddle.
yeah.
I mean Riddle, yeah.
But the updated list so far, I think that they're done with this. So it was Matt Riddle, Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Elias.
Stop. Wait, Dolph Ziggler, what do you feel? But you like him.
I like him a lot. I mean, I was more upset of the fact that he's just gone. But like they really haven't done anything with him. They're not gonna do anything with him now. His time passed. I do think that he should have been way bigger than he was when he was younger. He was enormous. He's one of the best wrestlers, I think, ever, in ring. But he's had crazy matches with the Miz and all these guys, and he'll always be known for that Survivor Series Soul Survivor match, which I thought was great. And some Sting, your boy Sting came out for the first time.
My boy Sting, I'm sorry. I just was never a Dolph Ziggler fan. I don't know. To me, I just never cared.
Yeah. No, I
So,
loved him. I was actually at his Money in the Bank cash in Brooklyn when he cashed in the night after Mania, and that was one of the loudest that's one of the loudest reactions I've ever heard in my life. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard. It's insane.
When was that? How long ago was that?
That was the night after Mania in Jersey. So the night after Cena beat The Rock, he came out and cashed in on Del Rio and won.
That's right.
With AJ Lee and Big E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who else is on our list? Who's on
that? Shelton Benjamin, Elias, Mustafa Ali, I guess would say that's the second biggest one because everyone really likes him.
Okay, let's talk about that. So the problem with that is that apparently they were supposed to have a match with Dominic Mysterio, Mustafa Ali on NXT, and now they're talking about, well, wait a minute, it was planned, and they just got rid of the guy. I think Mustafa Ali's a good wrestler too.
I read yesterday, from Fightful, they said that Mustafa Ali was that Endeavor kind of came in and was like, we need to clear house on these guys that are like basically making money when they don't deserve to be, like the guys that aren't on TV and they're just kind of sitting there making a paycheck.
Right.
And Mustafa Ali was the only one that was actually on screen like recently that got released, him and Matt Riddle. But they said that Mustafa Ali was making main roster money, and they didn't think that he was going to be used on the main roster because he was on NXT for so long. So that's why they got rid of him, because they said they just didn't see anything with him ever on the main roster, and that he was making so much money that they couldn't go down. So they were like, let's just release him.
Well, they didn't use him right. He's a really good wrestler. I can see him in AEW. He's a high flyer. So maybe I can see. They need to freshen up.
Do something there.
Okay, and then Mansoir's out too.
You got Emma, Riddick Moss, Aaliyah, Top Dollar, Rick Boogs, Mace, Mansoor, Dana Brooke, Shanky, and then a bunch of NXT people.
Okay, of that list, who do you think will go to AEW?
I don't think AEW wants any of these people. Unless it's besides Mustafa Ali. That's the only one. That's it. Everyone else is like, I don't really think anyone else is really that big of a deal.
Yeah. All right. What did you think of SmackDown and so where's this heading? Cena's going to pair with a mystery partner against, is it The Rock?
Orton?
Is it The Rock? The Rock?
I don't think it's The Rock.
On Fastlane, which it's the little
pay-per-view. Someone put on Twitter, it was like, I can't wait for this to happen at Fastlane. And it was like, remember when Cena called out The Rock to go against The Miz and R-Truth when they fought? And then someone put like, guys, The Rock's not going to be
very clear. Now, I think it's clear what happened here. Here's what happened. So LA Knight was supposed to be on the show. He reportedly got COVID. He tested positive before.
He was supposed to come out at the main event.
Right. So to me, LA Knight and John Cena are pairing.
I would love to see Orton come out and team with Cena. It's how many more times are you gonna get them together at the same time?
Orton, but do you really want to put Orton in a main? I guess.
No, but if you're gonna do anything, you put him in a tag match, so he doesn't have to be there alone for the whole time. Can you imagine Cena and Orton?
So they had to rewrite this, I think.
Like 20 minutes before the show.
Which LA Knight was supposed to be the partner, so now it's a
they already said that they said LA Knight was listed for the show, supposed to help Cena, and then everyone thought that it was a Vince change, and everyone was freaking out. But it ended up being a medical change, and then they said he tested positive for COVID. But I don't know. I still don't know what their things are, like their protocols and stuff. So I don't know what if
I'm sure he was sent home. I'm sure he was sent.
It's just kind of weird that I was honestly really interested in seeing Styles and Cena together. So I
that. Why did they? So that had to be a fill-in.
I just don't get why. I don't get why. They've been teasing Cena and Styles in the past few weeks, not LA Knight. So I don't really get why you wouldn't. I would rather have Cena and Styles. I don't really care for Knight and Cena. I care for Knight, but not with Cena. But I guess this is their way of getting Knight into against the bloodline and stuff, so you can fight Roman. I think they're teasing that. So,
well, I originally thought it was going to be a feud between Cena and LA Knight.
Yeah, I guess they're not going
to unless that breaks down. Unless that breaks down.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could see. And then they fight because I know Cena's going to be here for Fastlane, and then a whole other month after that. So he still has 4 more weeks after that he's going to be there. So he's doing some long-term stuff. So maybe they'll do that, and LA Knight will lose or something. Or
so AJ Styles once again gets screwed out of what?
It's weird. It's weird.
He never gets his due. It's kind of
cool. It was cool. It always is cool to see them together because that was one of my favorite feuds of all time. Honestly, Cena and Styles. So to see them together is crazy, and the fact that they're the same age is insane to me. Because you would think Cena's been there for so long.
Okay, and I really don't think the bloodline thing is working right now at all. What's going on?
It's hard to work when you don't have the main guy there. That's why
it's the main guy, and then what's Jimmy Uso's position in this?
No, it's so weird to me. I don't get. So they just don't care that he turned on him. They don't care. It's so weird. I don't get it. And now Jey Uso's just gone. So it doesn't make any sense. He's just not involved.
Or is this all going to be unveiled to be a huge plot by the bloodline to do something against the Judgment? What is the? Why did we separate? Who's
why is wait? But why is Cena feuding with them? What is he going to do with them?
I have a question. What happened to who's going to SmackDown from Raw now that they got Jey Uso? Where's that?
They don't know yet. They don't know yet.
What?
I don't know.
So you throw him. Why was he thrown over there in the first place? Just
I've liked Jey Uso on Raw. I think he's good, and I think he's a huge. He's one of the biggest solo stars right now, and he's really showing that he's a lot better than Jimmy and Solo. When it comes to character,
and he's gonna end up with Sammy in a tag team.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Yeah, I think KO's gonna get pissed, and then end up.
KO's gonna get pissed. They're gonna end up together, and then those two. Sammy and Jay will fight Solo and Jimmy.
I guess maybe eventually.
Because we really don't have any. It doesn't make. There's no separation.
I know they're gonna set some stuff up. They're gonna set some stuff up for Survivor Series. I don't know if that's still gonna be Raw against SmackDown. We'll see. But I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing with the Bloodline story. It doesn't make any sense. But I wonder if it is LA Knight's his mystery partner. I'm sure it'll be a good match. That's pretty cool. I don't see Cena or them winning that one though. If it is them.
Does it not seem like every episode that Roman Reigns is there's a hole in the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
What is he doing right now?
Even with your boy John Cena, there feels like a hole in the show.
Yeah, I would like to see Cena and Roman staring at each other. That's cool to see Jimmy and Solo get their due, and the fact that they're in the ring with Cena is pretty cool for them probably. But it's not the same when you don't have Roman Reigns there. It's just all they're doing is extending his reign. It's annoying.
And John Cena's arrival so far, you notice he hasn't done a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some kind of like, I'm not going to wrestle like 80 matches.
Yeah.
Or
I know he has done a dark match after every single show, but they're only like
oh,
a few
that's
minutes.
true.
Yesterday he went against Montez Ford yesterday.
Right. And let's talk about that real quick. So they botched Montez and it-
Who, Angelo?
Angelo Dawkins. I couldn't think of his name. Angelo Dawkins and Montez. So they lose the match. Bobby scolds them. Is the point of it so they get meaner,
I
or
don't know.
what?
I honestly, I wasn't a fan of that, of the whole like scolding and stuff. Like, why does I saw it on Twitter and I felt the same way before I read it. Like, why does every single faction have to like be in a bad mood, like with each other? Like, why can't they just be like mean people that go around beating everyone up? It's weird. It's a weird dynamic because it's like yeah, I guess like they don't want to be like bad guys, but then like Lashley's like pushing them to do it, so it's like they can't handle. I don't know. I guess that's what they're going for.
I think
They
what
gotta
they're
get
going for is to justify how bad they're going to be.
yeah.
They have to do this
I'm
before.
just honestly, I'm really tired of the LWO. I'm so bored.
Isn't that
When are
kind
they
of
gonna
what are they
when are
going
they
to do?
gonna turn? Like I don't care anymore. Yeah, it was fun. You were in Backlash in Puerto Rico. That's when they were the hottest they were. WrestleMania they were pretty hot. And then after that, like it just has died off. It really has.
Yeah, I keep watching Santos Escobar next to Ray, and I'm like, is he going to clock him at any minute? Like, how long is this going to go down?
Yeah, I really like the Grayson Waller and Theory tag team. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was pretty
Great,
cool.
great, and that's
Yeah.
got to be the new tag champs.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
knew that was going to happen eventually. They're both. It's a
They're
perfect,
perfect for each other. Yeah.
perfect. I
If
think
you
that
don't want to turn Theory face, then you do that. Because Grayson Waller is awesome on the mic, and Theory is pretty good too. So I think they could do well.
I think that's the way to salvage Theory's career in the WWE. He becomes
And
a
start
tag
and then
champ.
and
Yeah,
push Waller with him. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
because
I thought
Waller's pretty good in the ring.
better than I thought.
Yeah,
Was he good in NXT? Because I don't
he was
remember.
more he was more of like a guy that was really good on the mic, and then he would have okay matches. He wasn't anything crazy.
Yes, as we know, he thinks he's his
Yeah, I
character.
know. I interviewed him, and it was
Yes,
very funny.
yes. Of the people you interviewed thus far, who is the one that actually um surprised you the most?
Like when it comes to meeting them in person,
Yeah. Like, who were
um,
you like, oh, well, you seem bitchier,
honestly,
nicer than I thought.
I thought that when I interviewed Finn, he was gonna be like not like in a bad mood, but like I guess just like tired because like everybody wanted him, like everybody was on the line for him, and like he's a very popular guy. But like when I went up to him, he was like it was like the first interview he did all day, and he gave me like 3 minutes when I wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to do like a minute, and he was like, "No, it's fine." And I thought that was really cool because like him, and then I told you the best one so far was Montez. Montez was so cool. Like he was so nice. He was such a
Not
nice guy.
not Damien in Puerto Rico.
See, that's the one. Honestly, the one I'm more proud about was Damien was because the fact that I kind of interviewed him like right before he was like the
Gonna go
biggest he's ever.
the
Yeah,
biggest
and now
ever.
literally I interviewed him. He lost to Bad Bunny, and then now he's tag champ and a Money in the Bank champ. Money in the Bank. It's like
Then
insane.
why does he still feel to me irrelevant right now?
I think he's one of the. I think he's the biggest, the
Uh,
best
uh,
part of Judgment
he's
Day.
the best part of Judgment Day, but
Yeah,
why do they have him? See, I think they're waiting too long on a lot of these stories. I think they've got to start moving him. They're obviously waiting for what? No, Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. Like,
I think they're doing some. I think they're going to do some type of Survivor Series match with the Judgment Day against like Cody, Sammy, KO, Jay, and Drew. I think that's what it's going to be.
Drew's
That's
got
what
to
I've heard.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were teasing it with Riddle, and now I don't know what they're going to do. So
Drew.
yeah, because remember him and Riddle were like beefing and stuff. So I don't know. And Cody's another one who's just in limbo right now. They don't know what they're doing.
People. Got to shore that up. All right. So Collision tonight, Monday Night Raw coming up. We still have to wait a little while for Fastlane and Wrestle Dream.
We got like I heard Wrestle Dream is going to be one of the lowest attended pay-per-views in like history. They said they haven't sold any tickets. Like nothing.
And I was thinking I should go to that because it's in Seattle and not far from, like, I was thinking, oh, you go there. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nobody. It's very hard. You have nothing. It's taking too long to get people. How do you sell tickets if you don't even know what the matches are?
But why do I feel like AEW just has too many pay-per-views? Like WWE has a lot, but
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they had 4 and they just added this new one. Oh,
Well, no, I mean like I guess if you include like the TV ones, because those are like
Forbidden
also
Door.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they can. The match. It's like I said. You turn the TV on those pay-per-views, you can watch it. But when you're watching the build up to them, they're not the best.
Last thing before we go was there was reports about CM Punk that he can do whatever he wants. He's not really
He's not contracted to
not
anything.
contracted. And again, lots of talk that he'd come back in Chicago for Survivor Series.
If you're gonna do it, you got to do it there.
If you're
That's all
gonna
I'm
do
gonna
it, you
say.
got to do it. I think if they don't do it, then that's it.
If they don't do it, then you got to wait till Rumble and he's the 30th
Even
entrant.
if, what about even offering Phil a like one-time appearance to come out and do something, like have him be a special guest and come and do.
I think he has too much of a
Ego.
people for that. Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't know if he is going to be interested in going to. Because me personally, if you look at WWE right now, there's not really a spot for him to go in and be the champion right away, which he's going to probably want to be because he's still CM Punk. I can maybe see it on Raw, but if you're Punk and you see the guys that are on this show right now, there's so many guys you can have good matches for without the title being included. Like, even for himself, you saw the report that he wanted to fight Kevin Owens in a regular match, like stuff like that. Like, you can do that. Like, you can go against Kevin Owens, you can go against Sami Zayn. You can have another match against Seth Rollins, like now where they're at right now. That would be an awesome match. They don't like each other. Like, actually, they don't like each other. So I don't know if that would ever happen. But
Unless they bring that heat to the ring and play it up.
which would be, which you usually can do. But Punk,
I don't think they want to work. I don't think.
But it seems like Punk can't handle it. Like, Punk just gets mad and takes everything personal. So I don't know. I really don't.
All right. Well, lots of developments. Okay, Luis, thank you so much. I guess we'll be back next week with more to do. All right. And I will text you right after this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Watch for my text. All right.
All right.
Good one. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.